Hi, today I have this Fender Vintera. It's called the limited edition ROADWORN 50 Strat. And this is the, as you can see, the HSS model has the humbucker down there in the bridge position. And I like the color, sonic blue, and it's nice and light. I originally got this. I have a ROADWORN. Let's see here. I have a ROADWORN Telecaster here, which I really like. This is my favorite guitar to play. They're made in Mexico, of course, this ROADWORN series. And what I like about them is that I've come to really like the neck radius, the 7 1/4 inch neck radius, which is something I never was into before. But when I tried it on that ROADWORN Telly, I really liked it. They also have, they have nitrocellulose finish and other things that you generally can't get unless you get a custom shop Fender. But the main selling point to me was the 7 1/4 neck radius, which for some reason just feels good to me. A lot of people argue that it makes the guitar a little harder to play, and you're never going to confuse one of these guitars with a shredder guitar, because you'd never say, oh, it's got a really fast neck, it just, your fingers fly over it. No, it's not like that at all. You have to work pretty hard. But for some reason, I don't know, it just felt right to me. So I wanted to get a Strat with that 7 1/4 inch neck radius. And that means either going custom shop or getting one of these ROADWORN series, which they're cool. I mean, I like them. There are a couple downsides, namely the truss rod adjustment is in there. You got to take the neck off to adjust the truss rod, which is, that's vintage correct. That's the way they were in the 50s. Now, if you're going to use a neck with a 7¼ inch radius, I think you need bigger frets. That's the Tele there has, they call them jumbo frets. I wish they would just tell you what fret wire size they are. Are they 6105, 6100, whatever? But they're pretty decent sized frets. And that kind of makes it easier to play on that 7¼ inch neck radius, because otherwise it's kind of hard to bend strings if you do that sort of thing. They call those boomer bends nowadays, I guess, and I'm a boomer, so I do that sort of thing. I got this guitar. They said the frets were narrow tall, and I thought that sounds pretty good. That should help with the string bending. I actually prefer jumbo frets on my guitars, but narrow tall sounded pretty good. Well, I got this thing, and these are like vintage size frets. There's nothing jumbo about them. They're not tall in any way. I don't know how that came about, but they're just little skinny frets, which makes it, that combined with the 7¼ neck radius, makes it a little difficult to play. It makes string bending a little harder, vibrato, that sort of thing. Now, it came with a set of 9s. The strings are 9s, which that helps a little bit with all that stuff, the string bending and stuff. But I like 10s on my guitars, generally speaking. And if it had a little bigger frets, I could put 10s on here and it'd be just fine. But I think with these frets, I might end up replacing the frets anyway. But with these frets, I'm going to have to leave the 9 set of strings on here, because otherwise it's going to be really hard to play. A little hard to play is okay. You know, it keeps you from overplaying and showing off too much. But I don't want to get into something that's really stiff and hard to play. Anyway, other than that, I think there's a lot to be said for this guitar. The ROADWORN thing, the relicing, I guess you'd call it, is a little more, you can hardly tell my Tele there, that ROADWORN Tele. It doesn't even look, it's just got a, you know, it's a little faded in places, and there's a chip here and there, but there's nothing like this, that sort of thing. This is much more reliced, and I don't really care about that. It's no big deal. But with the nitrocellulose finish, it's going to, through use, it's going to get a lot more faded and worn out looking and checked and that sort of thing. Now, I should probably point out that this guitar didn't come very well set up when it arrived here at the house. Action was really high, and that combined with the small frets made it really hard to play. There's still a couple high frets on here. I can't get the action where I'd like it. The neck edges are not rolled at all. They're just kind of sharp. It's a very different neck than on the Tele there, which I love. Maybe I should just get a Tele neck and put on here. But and the Tele neck is fatter, more of a baseball neck. This is, you know, it's kind of slim. You know, it feels good. I think I'll be able to get it to where I like playing it. Sound-wise, it should cover all the bases because of that humbucker in the bridge position. If you play a lot of different styles of music, that comes in really handy. As these vintage style tuners, they work pretty well. They work actually quite well. They don't have a real high ratio, but once you get them where they belong, they stay there. And I put an extra spring in the whammy bar here in the trem, because I don't think I'm going to use the trem. If I do, I'll take it out again and float it again. But for now, I think I'll leave that in there. Anyway, it's a nice guitar. I think once I get it figured out and tweaked the way I like it, it'll maybe my favorite guitar to play. Certainly will be versatile. Anyway, thank you, and I'll talk to you next week.